Around the country on ABC Local Radio, Radio Australia and the World Wide Web. You're Surfing Australia with Macca on Sunday morning.
John Warner from his album The Sea and the Soil with his song about the farrier. And I met a farrier, his name is Ray Lincoln. You'll hear the sound of the forge and the clipping away. Have a listen. Come and meet Ray Lincoln. Could be the sound of the smithy. Smithy, a mighty man is he with large and sinewy hands. It's Ray Lincoln. He's a farrier and a smithy and everything. How are you, Ray?
Very well, thank you.
What are you doing there, making a...
Just forming a few little light ornamental shoes, only like little lucky ones. And
But I see from your skill and, dare I say, your age, that you've probably been at this game a fair while, right?
I started at the age of 14 and I'm 82 this year. It's been a good trade to me, a good healthy trade, but a lot of people got the idea that there's not a lot of men working at it. But we have a lot of young men in the trade now, mainly horseshoeing, and the apprentice scheme for us finished in 1946 and didn't start again until 1988. And there's about 17 apprentices going through now, mainly horseshoeing, not blacksmithing.
Now, Ray, this is a big weekend, really, for horse racing. What sort of shoes do you put on your horse when it's wet like that? You just turn the thing on?
Well, they're standardised. They have to race in a plate. They can't put grippers on them for the mud or anything like that. They're not allowed to do that. It has altered. One time we could race barefooted, but they have to be plated now. That's mainly with geranium plates. It's just like a light horseshoe, and they can't be shod with anything heavier than 4 ounces on each foot.
Now, were you a farrier as well?
I was a farrier, yeah. 70 time as a farrier.
So, and that can be pretty hectic on the course, your work?
Oh, definitely. That can. You get your wet horses. Then you'll get a lot of horses that can race left-handed, not right-handed. See, we race right-handed in Sydney. Melbourne race left-handed, and sometimes they'll have a horse down there that might be interfering with himself. When it's interfering, one limb will hit the other, and we shoe him the best we can, and we mightn't win him. And if we don't win him, we'll send him up to New South Wales and see if he can race the other way. And that has happened quite repeatedly.
How did you become a farrier, Ray?
Actually, I'm the 4th generation. So I just sort of followed on from my father. And he just sort of grew up in the shop. And he was a pretty hard boss. I had a good apprenticeship because he'd put me on loan to other farriers. Well, naturally, if they say, oh, young Ray's coming on Thursday, well, they stockpile plenty of work for Thursday. And if you go into another shop on Friday, he had a lot of work lined up too. So you could finish up some pretty hard weeks. But it was all educational.
You still enjoy it? You don't do it professionally now? Or?
Professionally now, I'm probably retired. As I say, I'm 82 this month. I've been retired nearly 20 years. But I just keep myself amused. All I do now is an odd demonstration. It's different shows and open days and that. Apart from that.
And what do you like in the Cup, the Melbourne Cup?
I'll be honest with you, I couldn't tell you a runner. Honest, that's been honest, I couldn't tell you a runner. I'll give you an instance on that. At Warwick Farm, years ago, I was only young, I was working for my father. And I'd done 8 horses in a maiden race at Warwick Farm, and I was told each one in strict confidence, and the one that I didn't play would come home. So that turned me off punting for life. And I can go to I'd hardly go to a race meeting now and never go. If I go to a race meeting, it'll be a bush meeting somewhere. Yeah. No, I couldn't tell you, runner. In 1951, the year I was married, we were getting $1.70. That was to shoe a racehorse. 17 shillings to make his shoes and nail them on. I was going for £1 because we were just married, and I was going for £1, $2. We got £1, and we had a letter back to the Master Farriers Association saying if there's any more price increases, it was becoming excessive, and they'll take it to the Price Commissioner. That was the letter from the Owners and Trainers Association.
Wow.
So how is that? But they'd nod their head for an extra 100 guineas to buy a yearling, to your yearling they call them, to 100 guineas, one nod of the head, that'd keep him shod for his full racing career. But that's what happened. So I never had a lot of hot time for horse trainers after that.
Ray, what do you reckon is the best way to shoe?
Well, after working the trade all my life, but I woke up to it too late, after my back broke down, the best way to shoe is to put them in the yard, open the gate and go shoe.
Right, great to meet you. Nice to talk to you.
Nice talking to you. Yeah, bye-bye.
May the Pritchell and Buffer still find employ, and proud strong horses
Exactly.
to shoe, brave boys, proud strong horses to shoe. And many a draft horse, hack or cob stood fast by the hitching rails, while the farrier bent to the fetlock's hair with a mouthful of square-head nails, and offered up the shoe to the waiting hoof with a sizzle and a smoke and a smell. Pritchell and quench, hammer, clip and clench, and file down the clench as well. Here's to the farrier's trade, may their anvils ever ring true. May the Pritchell and Buffer still find employ, and proud strong horses to shoe, brave boys, proud strong horses to shoe. Though the motor roars out across the world its message of haste and greed, though the horse has fled from the highway side with its danger and noise and speed, yet down by the fence waits our ancient friend, the progress will never unseat. And while there's a horse, there's a need for shoes, and farriers to tend his feet. Here's to the farrier's trade, may their anvils ever ring true. May the Pritchell and Buffer still find employ, and proud strong horses to shoe, brave boys, proud strong horses to shoe. Here's to the farrier's trade, may their anvils ever ring true. May the Pritchell and Buffer still find employ, and proud strong horses to shoe, brave boys, proud strong horses to shoe.
How good was that?